Hello! For science today, we get to finish up our weather trackers. You guys have been working so hard keeping track of this for a whole month. We finally get to talk about it, okay? Now, you maybe missed a couple days, so Mrs. K wasn't very good at doing this every day, and you can actually go on the computer and you can go back and look at days you missed. So maybe if you missed a couple days, you can just pause the video really fast and go back and finish it, okay? We want all the days done from... We started on March 16th and we're ending today on April 20th, okay? So you should have all those days done. You don't have to have these ones done, okay? You just have to start at March 16th. So if you haven't done that, hurry and pause the video, have your parents help you go back and find what those missing days are, okay? But we're gonna move on to the next part, okay? So, also something else you guys should be aware of. Something that I put on a day, you might have something different because, so we all live in different places. So where we live, maybe it's raining where I live and it doesn't rain where you live. Okay, so it can kind of be different. Also, depending on the day of time of day that you guys did the weather. If you did the weather in the morning, maybe it was sunny and then later in the day it started snowing. So somebody might have, on one day somebody might have sunny and one day the same day somebody might have snowy, okay? So all of these weather trackers are gonna be a little bit different, okay? And it's okay. Mine is probably a lot different than yours. So you should just know that before we start talking about this, okay? Something else you should know is when we're doing, you're going to need both of your weather trackers, the March one and the April one. You're also going to need your paper that looks like this. I think yours is green, but it's called weather conditions graph, okay? So you're going to need all those papers to do our activity today, okay? All right, let's see, what else do you need to know before you get started? There's one of these things that says snow. So there's one that says snow and there's one that says rain. But then on our graph, they only put rain, okay? So rain is, another word for rain is precipitation, and snow is also a type of precipitation. So precipitation is just a form of water that comes down from the sky. So we're going to record snow and water on this one. So if it snowed on a day, it's going to be the same as if it rained on a day. Or if that really bothers you, you could add on a little snowflake on this side and add on snowing on the side, okay? You can do it how you want, okay? But I decided to just combine snow and rain together, okay? Just make things a little bit easier. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your graphs, your trackers, and we're going to put them on our graph. So what I did was I took the month of March and I counted up how many rainy days I had, okay? Can you guys help me count my rainy days? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I had 3 rainy days. So on my graph, I colored in 1, 2, 3 of the little rectangles because there were 3 rainy days. And then I went to April and I'm still looking for rainy days. So do you guys see a rainy day on mine? I have 1 rainy day. So then I marked 1 more on my rainy, okay? And I did that with all of them. So next I went through and I looked to see how many sunny days. And I counted up how many sunny days and then I put them on my graph. And then I counted how many sunny days in April and put them on my graph, okay? This took a little bit of time, okay? It takes a while because you have to count them, okay? And then you put them on here. You might have to have your parents help you because we have graphed a little bit in class. You remember how we do our weather graphing in class and we keep track of what the weather's like every day? Well, now you're having to do it all by yourself. So maybe your parents are going to have to help you a little bit with this, okay? So you're just graphing the same thing that's on here and your parents will be able to help you with that, okay? You might want to pause the video while you do that too because I'm going to keep talking about the next part, okay? Because I already did mine. Okay, so the next part... After you figure that out, we're going to talk about our graphs. So we're just going to look at mine. Remember, your graph might look different than mine, and that's okay. So on my graph, I'm wondering, what do you notice? What do you notice on my graph? I notice that there's one that has more than any of the other ones. Which one has the most? Sunny, because I can tell there are more sunny days because there's more that are colored on there. Which type of weather did we have the least this month? This one, rainy, because I only have 4 rainy days. And so this one's the least. So on my paper, I'm going to write most. Whoa, I almost wrote it in the wrong spot. So I wrote most by the one that we had the most of, and I'm going to write least by the one that we had the least of, okay? And then we have these other days too. Okay, so on your graph, I want you to also decide which one you had the most of and which one you had the least. Remember, yours might be different than mine, okay? Let's see. Oh, temperature. Remember how we talked about temperature? Now, I don't know if you guys have been keeping track of this, but I've been keeping track of the temperature every single day. So I've been writing what the highest temperature. So the temperature changes every day. There's a high temperature and there's a low temperature. I've been keeping track of the high temperature every day on my chart. And again, if you miss some days or you just forgot to do it, you can go back and look on a calendar and you can have your parents to help you with that. Okay, so I want to know, I was curious when I was looking at my charts, I wanted to know what day was the warmest day that we had. So I looked through all of my numbers and I wanted to see what number was the biggest, because if the number was big, it means that it was the warmest. So the warmest day we had for me was on April 8th, and it was 70 degrees that day. So I circled that day because that was the warmest day. So I want you to also circle the one that is the warmest, okay? It might be different than mine, and that's okay. I also wanted to find out which day was the coldest day. So I looked through and I found out that this day was the coldest. So March 26th, it got down to 43 degrees. So I put a square around that and I wrote coldest next to it. Could you please figure out what day was coldest on your chart? It's kind of fun. I love doing charts like this because it helps me learn the answer to questions that I might have. Like I might want to know if there's more rainy days or sunny days. And when I keep track of things, I can figure that out. Just like scientists. If scientists want to know something, they just keep track. It's called data. They get data and they can figure out the answers to their questions. So you guys are being scientists by figuring out the weather. That is so cool, huh? Let's see. Okay, after you're all done with your graphs. So when your graph looks like this and you figure out which one has the most and least, and then your tracker, when you have figured out the hottest day and the coldest day, your last part is to write in your journal, okay? I want you to write in your journal and you're going to tell me what weather happened the most, okay, in your journal, all right? If you want to, you guys can also fold these. So you could fold these in half and stick this in your journal. You don't have to, but it's kind of a cool thing to keep track of. And you know what I really like about these is I think the weather is crazy, especially in the spring, because there were some days that I noticed in the morning it was sunny, and then by the afternoon it was raining, and then by the nighttime it was snowing. Did you guys notice that? Did you notice how the weather can change so much? That's something I really like about the weather. There's some sayings in spring, like in like a lion, out like a lamb. That's talking about March, how March it comes in and it's kind of cold and rainy, and then by the end of March it gets warmer. Do you think that's true with ours? I think it's pretty true, because at the beginning of our graph there's a lot of rainy days, and the end there weren't a lot of rainy days. So that saying is probably true. In like a lion, out like a lamb. It came out like a lamb because it wasn't raining as much. There's also another saying that says, April showers bring May flowers. So what that means is April, there's usually a lot of rainy days in April. Now, I'm noticing on my chart, there's not a lot of rainy days. I think that some of these days had rain in them too, but April showers bring May flowers. I don't know if that's true for my graph, but it might be true for yours. And we'll have to see. We'll have to wait till May to see if there's a lot of flowers, because April showers bring May flowers. We'll have to see if there's a lot of flowers in May. Those things are all about weather, and we just kept track of weather. So good job, guys. Thank you for working on that for so long, so hard. You guys can be done after this. You guys can be all done with your weather trackers, or if you want to keep it going, you can finish it up for the month of April, but you can be done if you want. Okay, I'm going to fold this and put it in my journal so I can keep track of it. Okay, All right. Thank you guys for learning weather with me. You guys are such good meteorologists. All right. See ya.